Good afternoon. I am Vanessa Thomas with the 12 o'clock news on the street, 919 FM, and online Facebook and YouTube, sponsored by the Sea Champion. In the headlines, government hopeful of receiving a tranche of COVID-19 Pfizer vaccines soon. A possible price increase for KFC customers from today, according to Prestige Holdings CEO. And internationally, England COVID restrictions ease as the Prime Minister urges caution. And now the news in detail. Government is hopeful of receiving a tranche of COVID-19 Pfizer vaccines soon. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says those vaccines will be reserved for secondary school children. He is hopeful that children will get vaccinated before the next academic year begins, although there is no decision yet on whether schools will physically reopen in September.
That is the only vaccine that has WHO clearance for the use on children from age 12, from 12 and above, which means our secondary school children population. If we get our hands on those vaccines, it will be the only vaccine that is available with a clearance for use on children.
The Prime Minister says documents to secure the Pfizer vaccines have already been signed, and he is hopeful that all goes well and the vaccines should arrive sometime in August.
We had to sign 3 documents, and we've finally done that. And we are now waiting the next step, which is I think the allocation has been made, and we are awaiting the logistical release. But that is not under our control.
In other news, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley reminds the population that mass vaccinations are happening across the island and added that it is voluntary. He said this would only change if things get worse.
I am not a dictator, and I will not be dictating to anybody in this country on any matter. But however, if we do, God forbid, find ourselves in a situation with a virus or a bacteria or anything like that that is killing people like flies, and we have a medication that can be administered to people, I don't know that I'll be inventing any new positions in this country, because we have done that before.
In more news, KFC customers could see a price increase from today. This, according to the Chief Executive Officer of Prestige Holdings, Simon Hadid. He says there has been significant cost in the supply chain in the industry over the past few months.
Just for example, oil has gone up, chicken has gone up, drinks have gone up. And this has been a global phenomenon. So we are assessing across all of our brands what that will mean. In terms of KFC specifically, we've tried to do a blend of maintaining some prices, but unfortunately there will be some increases that customers will see.
Mr. Hadid says that from the 60 KFC branches across DNT, 3 will remain closed. They are Val Park, West Mall and UWE, and this is because malls and schools remain closed. Mr. Hadid urges customers to follow safe health practices when visiting the branches that are opened.
We've missed you too, I would say. We're super excited to see everyone, but we're just reminding everyone we still have to maintain our safety protocols and follow the government's guidelines. As you say, the 3 W's: watch your distance, wear your mask, and wash your hands.
The KFC CEO says extra security have been hired to manage the flow of expected customers. Meanwhile, the KFC outlet at the corner of Charlotte and Duke Streets in Port of Spain was partially damaged in a fire yesterday morning. Fire officers at the Ryson Road Fire Station received the report, and fire tenders were sent to the location where officers extinguished the blaze.
We got a call at approximately 1:55. Responded to the call, and you did a good job in arresting the fire in its zone of combustion. Right? I know KFC, most of the establishments want to open back up this now, so we're trying to complete our investigation as soon as possible.
The cause of the fire and estimated cost of the damage are not yet known, but it is reported that 50% of the building was damaged in the fire. Internationally, Prime Minister Boris Johnson has urged caution as most legal COVID restrictions on social contact have been lifted in England. There are now no limits on how many people can meet or attend events, as nightclubs, pubs and restaurants are fully reopened without restrictions. face coverings, however, will be recommended in some spaces but not required by law. Meanwhile, England's Labour leader has accused the government of chaos and confusion, with the Prime Minister and Chancellor undermining the self-isolation rules at a critical moment. The Labour leader said a reckless free-for-all now risks plunging the country back into restrictions. He says the government has once again lost control of the virus and they need to think again on their reckless plan before it's too late. Some scientists are predicting that UK infections, currently about 50,000 a day, could reach 200,000 a day later in the summer, but with more than 68% of UK adults fully vaccinated, modeling suggests hospital admissions, serious illness and deaths from COVID-19 will be at a lower level than in earlier peaks. And that was the 12 o'clock news on the street, 919 FM, and online Facebook and YouTube, sponsored by the Sea Champion. Recapping the headlines: government hopeful of receiving a tranche of COVID-19 Pfizer vaccines soon. A possible price increase for KFC customers from today, according to Prestige Holdings CEO, and internationally, England COVID restrictions ease as the Prime Minister urges caution. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon and please be safe. I am Vanessa Thomas.